Hi, this is Algebra 1, Module 7, Lesson 10. I've got a fill-in. So we are practicing the various forms and the graphing of the equations, quadratic equations. So for each problem, we're given a piece of information that'll tell us a lot. Use what we know to fill in the rest. So here, this is called standard form. So just to review, they were given a standard form. Now we need the factored form. Well, my x squared means I'm going to have an x in each one, no a in there. And now my minus says I'm going to have one of each sign. Now I need two factors of 12 that will subtract to get a 1. Well, 3 and 4 will subtract to get a 1. I want it to be a negative 1, so I need to put the 4 with the minus and the 3 with the plus. Okay, so this is factored form. I'm going to put over here is y. And now to be able to do the graph, I need to have a little bit more information. From here, I can find my x-intercepts. I know they're going to be 4, 0, and negative 3, 0, right? Negative 3 plus 3 is 0. 4 minus 4 is 0. I also know my y-intercept is going to be, if I sub in 0 for each of these, 0 squared minus 0 minus 12 is a 0, negative 12. My vertex is going to be in between 4 and negative 3. So 4 plus negative 3 is 1. 1 divided by 2 is half. So my vertex is going to be at 1/2, comma, ooh, this is kind of ugly. So let's see, half minus 4 is negative 3.5 times half plus 3, 3.5. So what's 3.5 times 3.5? Just a minute here. My calculator to come up. Right, 1/2 minus 4 is negative times 3.5, negative 12.25. Okay, so I've got a lot of information here and I have no stretch. So now I can use my graph. So I know my y-intercept's got to get clear down to negative 12. My vertex has to be at negative 12.25. So I'm going to go a lot into the negatives. And do I have much for positives in the y? I don't really. So let's just put my x-axis way up high here. And it's not too far off. I mean, I guess I got 4 and 3. So let's put this about in the middle. Let's see if I have 12 marks here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, I can go by ones. Good deal. All right. So let's go ahead and go 4, 0 is an x-intercept. Negative 3, 0 is an x-intercept. My y-intercept is a negative 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I know that I got to go over a half and just a tiny bit more to get to my vertex right down there. And now I've got some points to work with. There we go. Number 1 done. Number 2. Now we get this standard form. We want to put it into vertex form. So remember, that's the one where we're trying to complete the square. So first we need to say, all right, it starts with y equals, and then we have to divide negative 6 divide by 2, which equals 3. So then I know that it is an x minus 3 in parentheses squared. Well, 3 squared is 9. That's what my c should be. but it's not. I am short 6, so I have to subtract 6 because I don't have those. All right, so that gets me into my vertex form, which tells me that my vertex then is 3 comma -6, and that means I can make my table now 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, one more. And so I'm going to put 3, -6 here, 2, 1, 4, 5. So I can do all my various points. And so let me get that out of the way. So let's plug this in here. Let's do 4. 4 minus 3 is 1. 1 squared is 1. 1 minus 6 is -5. 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 squared is 4. 4 minus 6 is -2. So I know I need to have these guys, a whole bunch of negatives in the y. I could look for my y-intercept. We haven't hit it yet. Maybe let's do one more here to see if we can get to it. So if we do 6 and 0, 6 minus 3 is 3. 3 squared is 9. 9 minus 6 is 3. So that gets me when x is 0, y equals 3. So that's my y-intercept. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and go back. So I do need to get a little bit into the positives, but not a whole lot. So let's go here. And we're mostly positives in the x's, pretty much all positives in the x's. So I'm going to scoot this. Oh, goodness. Those two aren't on the line at all. Here we go. All right. So now I'm going to go 0, 3, and 1, -2, 3, -6. Wait, no, 2, -5. 2, 3, 4, 5, -6. Now I can move back up and do my graph. So depending on what form we have, we kind of have different ways of doing our graph from those. All right, now we get the graph, and we want to put this in vertex form. Okay, well, we know our vertex is, looks like this, counting by 2's. So 2, 3, it looks like. So I know it's going to be a y equals, and I'm going to leave a space and put x, not 2, x minus 2, x minus 2 squared plus 3. So now I need to make my table with some points so that I can see if I have an a value in there at all. So let's go ahead and come over here. And I know 2, 3, 4, 5. So I know I have 2, 3. So is 1 a good one? Not really, but I have 0 and 1. And then I have -2 and 5. -2 and 5, which means this one's probably going to go 4. 4 comma negative, -1, 0, -1, 4, -1, and then 6, 4, 6 comma 5. Okay, so if I do, let's do here. 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 squared is 4. 4 plus 3 is not 1. So I definitely have to make my numbers smaller, right? So let's see. I need a -1. I have to add 3 to get it. So, was it plus 3? Oh, no, it's a -3. Ah, that makes a bit of a difference. Okay, I was like, that's going to get us a negative, which isn't going to work on this case. All right, found an error. Good thing I caught that. Always make sure it all makes sense. Okay, so now I'm subtracting 3. Let's try this one more time. 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 squared is 4. 4 minus 3 is a positive 1. Okay, So I'm a little high now. Excellent. So this does still need to get lower. But if I have a -1 and I have to subtract 3 to get there, then if I add 3, I need to have 4 minus 2 squared needs to equal 2. So this is 2 squared is 4 times what equals 2? Well, a half. So let's put a half in here. So let's try it with the 6. 6 minus 2 is 3. 3 squared is 6 times 2 is 4. There we go. 4 squared is 16. Half of 16 is 8. 8 minus 3 is 5. Ah, there we go. A half in there. Now to get the standard form, we have to multiply this all out. So y equals 1/2 x minus 2 squared minus 3. I'm going to scroll down a little bit here. Let's do this in here first. So 1/2 times, we know that's x squared minus 2 of my h's, so minus 4x, and then I'm going to square that plus 4 minus 3. Now I got to do my halves first. So distribute my half. Half x squared. Half of 4 is negative 2x. Half of 4 is plus 2 minus 3. And so now I'm going to simplify this to y equals 1/2 x squared minus 2x, and 2 minus 3 is a -1. So this one is my standard form. If I can get it to see here, y equals 1/2 x squared minus 2x minus 1. And there's all my work. So make sure you have your work on here too. Number 4, we get this. It's upside down. So we know we're going to have a negative in there somewhere. So let's go ahead and look at what we've got for factors. So factors, what helps us find the factors? It's these guys right here, those intercepts. So we know to get the 0 for the x-intercept, 1, 2, 3, I must have an x minus 3, because 3 minus 3 is 0. Over here, it's a -7, so I must have an x plus 7. Now, the only thing we've got to double check now is if there's an a in front, because there could be. We know there's at least a negative, right? Because it's upside down. So let's go ahead and do a quick table and see what we've got going on here. Our vertex looks like it's at -2. Looks like it's above 12, actually. Here I've got a 1, 8. And 2 looks partway in there. There's not too many points that are right on those crossroads. -5, 8. Okay, we got a couple numbers to work with. Let's work with 1. So 1 minus 3 is -2. 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 times -2 is -16. Well, I don't want -16. I want +8. Well, to get to a -16 to a +8, I have to times by a -1/2. Right? Well, there's my -1/2. So let's double check this one. -5 minus 3 is -8 times 8 plus 7, not 8, -5. -5 plus 7 is 2. That gets me -16. -16 times a -1/2 equals a +8. All right, there we go. It's a -1/2 x minus 3 times x plus 3. Okay, now for the standard form. Now we just have to multiply this all out and get us our standard form. So let's do these two first. So the x minus 3 times x plus 7. You know, we got their -1/2 in front. Let's start with these guys. I have -1/2 times x squared minus 3x plus 7x minus 21. Run out of space here. Okay, so I can combine these guys. Negative 1/2 x squared, negative 3 plus 7 is plus 4x, and then minus 21. And so when I distribute that out, I get a negative half x squared minus 2x, because I have to distribute the negative 2. Negative and a negative is a positive. Half of 21 is 10.5. So there's my answer there. Number 5. Here we get a standard form again. Now we can do vertex or factored. Well, I wonder which one's going to be better on here. I might just try factored first because I know, to me, that's a little bit easier than doing the vertex. So I know there's a negative. Let's undistribute the negative in the front. X squared plus 6x minus 16. So if I do that, I know it's an x squared and not an x squared. It's an x squared, so I can do x in each one. It's a minus, so I need one of each. So factors of 16 that subtract to get 6. 1 and 16. Nope, that subtracts to get 15. 2 and 8. Oh, 8 minus 2 is 6. So if I have 8 and I take away 2, I get a 6. So y equals negative x minus 2, x plus 8. And so the vertex of this parabola, well, let's do our x-intercepts and y-intercepts first. Because I did factors form, I can find those x-intercepts quicker. So x-intercept would be a 2, 0, and a negative 8, 0. And the y-intercept, if everything here is a 0, then it's a 0, 16. My standard form gives me that y-intercept. And then my vertex would be halfway between those two. So negative 8 plus 2 is negative 6. Divided by 2 is negative 3. So if I plug in a negative 3 here, I get negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5 times negative 3 plus 8 is a positive 5. So that looks like a positive 25. There, I filled out the information. Okay. This one, 6. You get this format. All right, so vertex or, I already have standard, vertex or factored. Well, this one, I'm looking here and seeing that 2 does not go into 13 evenly. So my guess is I'm not going to be able to factor this out very nicely unless I can do the 1 and 2, 13. I might actually just try the vertex form on this one. That'll be good practice with an A. So we'll do vertex form, which means, actually, I'm still going to have to take that out. So let's go ahead and just try this. 2 parentheses, x squared plus 6x, and then I'm going to do plus half of this is 6.5. Let's just see what happens. I'm going to keep the 2 in front. Half of 6 is 3. So I know I'm going to have an x minus 3 squared, or plus. Which one do I think it is? Plus. Minus. Give me a second here. Because, yeah, it's positive, so 6 divided by 2, so that would be a minus. And then, because it's a positive 3, now if I do 3 squared, it equals, oh, I don't need to worry about this one right now. That's the part I was like, I don't think I need to have this over here. We only need to worry about the first two when we're just taking that out in a little bit. Okay, so 3 squared is 9. I have 9, but I need to times it by the 2, so I need 18 to make a perfect square, right? So if I, yes, x minus h, I'm just making sure on this one. It just seems funny on here. All right. And so if I need 18, but I only have 13, I am short 5. So y equals 2x minus 3 squared minus 5. Oh, forgot a parentheses in here. Okay. And then there's one thing I just want to double check here for a moment. No, I think this should be a plus because we need to have a positive 3. Because it's a positive 3, we're going to do a positive 3. That just seemed funny right there. Okay, yeah. This one goes straight across to a plus there. Okay, so that our vertex is going to be, not a, it's thrown off a little here. Vertex is a negative 3, comma, negative 5. Right, because if we double this, we'd be in a positive 6. That's right. I'm just confusing myself because I'm that vertex form. Okay, getting confused with when we do the factoring. Okay, and so then our x-intercepts and y-intercepts. Well, the y-intercept, we plug in 0 for these. It's going to be 0, 13. X-intercepts, little more interesting. We're going to have to actually solve this out. So I'm going to do this one over here. So when y equals 0, we have 2x plus 3 minus 5. So I need to add 5 to both sides. And 5 equals 2x plus 3 squared. Divide by 2. So 2.5 equals x plus 3 squared. So I need the square root of 2.5. Let me get my calculator here. Square root of 2.5. Just got a funny screen going on. 1 second. Calculator's being finicky. Okay, so 2.5, the square root is 1.58. I'm just going to round. So 1.58 equals x plus 3, and then negative 1.58 equals x plus 3. So if I subtract 3 from 1.5, I get a negative 1.42, comma 0. And then if I subtract 3 from the negative, it's going to go farther, so it's going to be negative 4.58, comma 0. Okay, so that's kind of some ugly numbers on those x-intercepts. All right, 7. I think this is the last one. Either form we want to do on this one. I think I'm going to do factored on this one since we did vertex on this last one. Let's do factored. So here, and all these are even, so that helps us out here. So if I take a negative 2 out of each of these, I'm going to take this by negative 2, so that's negative 7x. And then take a negative out of this, negative 2, it's going to be a negative 30. Okay, so now I got to figure out what, got an x squared, so that's x. It's a minus, so I'm going to subtract. So what factors of 30 subtract to get 7? Well, 1 and 30 don't. That's 29. 2 and 15 subtract to get 13. 3 and 5 subtract to get 2. Oh, you know what? I forgot we don't take this out yet. We don't do that. Let's back up. Let's back up. I'm mixing up my vertex form and my factored form. Factored, we take that 2x into account, right? We know it's a 1 and a 2 And we know there's lots for this one. But I know that one of them is going to be a negative 2x. Now, I probably shouldn't even put the negative in yet, because I don't know if it's going to be a negative 2x or if it's going to be a positive 2x and a negative x. So we should probably do this right. No, we can take that. I was right. We could take that out. I can take that out. What am I doing? I used the wrong factors. Negative 2. Let's back up. X squared minus 7x minus 30. I'm okay, because it multiplies out, we can do that. What am I thinking? Okay, so we were right. Minus and a plus. 1 and 30, no. 2 and 15, no. 3 and 10, not 3 and 5. I did 15 on that one. There we go. 10 and 3 subtract to get 7. But I need a negative 7. So the 10 goes here, the 3 goes here. That took a lot more effort than it should have. Okay, x minus 10, x plus 3. There we go. Vertex of the parabola. X and y intercepts. Well, with factored form, it's easier to find the x's. So x-intercept is 10, 0. Y is, then negative 3, 0. Y-intercept, we go back to standard form. Looks like it's 0, 60. And vertex, if we have 10 plus negative 3, that's a negative 7. Positive 7. Positive 7 divided by 2 is 3.5 as our vertex. And so if we plug in a 3.5 here, it's getting a little ugly, but let's see. We have a negative 2 times 3.5 minus 10 is negative 6.5. And 3.5 plus 3 is 6.5. So if we take negative 6.5 times 6.5 times 2, negative 2, we get an 84.5. And that would be our vertex for our parabola. And that is it. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next time.